Thanks for staying with us. Nigeria's biggest refinery, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, has laid off hundreds of workers in what it calls a reorganization. Unions like NUPENG and PENGASSAN have responded by halting crude and gas supply, threatening operations and risking fresh fuel scarcity. Dangote insists it hasn't violated any labor laws or labor rights, and he's just restructuring for efficiency. Now, critics question whether the unions are endangering national fuel supply to defend workers' rights, or if Dangote is using his monopoly powers against employees. With petrol sales already suspended in Naira, the big concern is who bears the cost, Dangote or ordinary Nigerians at the pump? What are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation and call us on 02016352013 or 09024163440 or tweet us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewTVC. So Dangote sacked a couple of Nigerians, bearing in mind that he has also employed numerous Nigerians. I think the people he sacked numbered about 800, while he still has in his employ about 3,000 Nigerians. And PENGASSAN and NUPENG are saying that for sacking these Nigerians, we are going to suspend selling crude to you in Naira. And we know why we got to the point of getting to sell crude in Naira in the first place, to make it easy for Nigerians to pay a lot lower. And if you go to the filling stations, you see now that fuel has been reducing constantly. So what does this mean for Nigerians? What did you think about when you heard of what has been going on between Dangote, NUPENG and PENGASSAN? Who's ready to go?
Change is always a battle. When you want to achieve change, if you want to change a way of life, a system that has worked and profited people, if you want to change your system, Mariam was taking us through keto earlier, a few years back, you will have keto flu. You will fall ill. A lot of things would go wrong when you're trying to change. But what we should remind ourselves is the change for our good as a nation. So I feel like here we are, we have a group of people who have profited from, as it were, and are uncomfortable with the change. And they would fight. So it's about how strongly do we want this change? Do we, the people, want change? Does Dangote really have ambitions to ensure that his business profits Nigerians and make Nigerians find petrol easily? I remember years back before the refinery started working, when he was talking about the investment he has made and how when it starts running, Nigeria will never lack for petrol. And that the entire West Africa will be supplied and not need to import. That's vision. But you know that there's a ministry, agency, companies who have profited from the importation, and they have a system that works for them. But does it work for the country, or does it work for the citizen? So we now have them fighting this new system and the change. And for me, it is very obvious. From the moment the refinery started working, it's been battle after battle, because the system does not want the change. So I want the government to step in. Do NUPENG and PENGASSAN have a right to cancel a contract agreement that the country has with the refinery? Like, I don't understand. So I sack you, then you now say, I'll not give you food again. Or like, I don't get how that happens, because the government, the arrangement that Dangote refinery has isn't with the union to get crude oil in Naira. It wasn't with the union, it was with the government. So if you are not speaking for the government, why are we even taking you serious? And if you're not speaking for the government should speak for themselves, except they believe that PENGASSAN and NUPENG is speaking on their behalf. And we, the citizens, will now call government that, who are you representing exactly? Because if you're representing us, anybody that is promising us to make fuel available cheaper and constant, that are not queuing up to get fuel, because in the past few days there's been a lot of drama going on where you will get filling station and they are shut down. We want to go back to the days where we are spending hours to get petrol. We don't want that anymore. So if the government is listening to the people, it would listen and navigate this situation so that we move forward towards change without feeling such pain as we are currently feeling, and Dangote, I'm sure, is feeling.
Okay, so with PENGASSAN and NUPENG, as we know that these are bodies that protect workers' rights, and we have advocated for, over the, for a long time. I mean, the world has advocated for bodies like this so that workers are not taken advantage of, to protect their rights. But what I'm seeing right now, especially with this particular Dangote conversation is that PENGASSAN and NUPENG are weaponizing that power that they have for their own selfish interests. Because if you were to talk to this regular Nigerian on the street, we have no problem with Dangote and with the way that he's planning on doing his business, distributing petroleum to all of us. If there's something that they are uncomfortable about, because first of all, we hear that there was a mass sack of workers. What I would expect is that PENGASSAN and NUPENG are sitting down with Dangote and discussing why this has happened. Because there are many reasons why a mass sack can happen. Was there some sort of sabotage going on within the refinery? Was there mass misbehavior that the company has come across?
Numbers.
Is it something that is going to affect the numbers, going forward? Is this something that when the company can also decide that we can no longer afford to employ this many workers? So we haven't even heard that conversation has been had yet. All we have heard are different threats of shutting down everything, and who is going to suffer for that? Nigerians. And so the thing is, for regular Nigerians, we're just looking at it as PENGASSAN, NUPENG doesn't want the best for us. PENGASSAN and NUPENG haven't yet told the story of how this affects us positively. It just shows that they are weaponizing this against us. So we need to hear from them. Like, I don't want to, make a, I don't want to make the assumption that they have ulterior motives only. Sometimes until you hear from a person speaking, that you can now determine what their motives are. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt until we hear, after the accusations that Dangote has made, as we read in the papers this morning, accuse them of a lot of things, says that this is not the first time they've done it, went back as far as 2007. And he also says, compared to what PENGASSAN has done for CSR, he, as Dangote, biggest employer of labor in our country, tax, payer in our country, and we've seen many things that he's done, contributions, donations that he has done across the country. So now you're playing against someone who has a track record of positively impacting our country. He's gone ahead to put in his personal resources in building a refinery that our country has spent decades upon decades struggling to do. And then all of a sudden you say you want to shut everything down because we're still waiting, because so we still haven't heard what PENGASSAN and NUPENG have against Dangote. And so because of that, I think
Amaka, before I come to you, let me quickly read some of the information we have here. They said at the heart of the crisis is the dismissal of 800 workers whom the union said were laid off after exercising their constitutional right to join PENGASSAN. Then the union also alleged that the refinery flew in illegal Indian expatriates to operate in Nigeria's sensitive energy sector, and he accused the refinery of wage discrimination, revealing that while Nigerian engineers earned 385,000 naira monthly, their Indian counterparts were paid upwards of $5,000. That's about 7.5 million. So I just wanted to put the information out there. Yes, but let me hear Amaka.
Okay, so let's start with the fact that we keep calling for the private sector to step in and to save certain sectors that we've been struggling with for so many years, for decades, right? For example, like we're still looking for help with the steel industry, the steel sector, because like no economy can, really run efficiently without having a steel industry. And then we had issues with light and with petroleum for decades now, and an individual decided to step up to bear this burden and to do the work. And since it started, it's been one thing or the other. So I understand the union's stance, that is rooted in fighting for the workers, the benefits of the workers, in quote and unquote. But they are using really high stakes. They're using high stake tools to do that. And the stakes they're using is affecting the national interests. And regardless of how you feel, before you start pushing to use a high stake that is going to affect the nation, you should have considered other measures like negotiation, talking to the government.
Let me get you. Who is using this high stake?
As in the union.
Okay, the union themselves.
Yes, right? And whatever stake that they're using is affecting the national interest. meaning that they're not even thinking of, okay, should we mediate, should we negotiate, should we get the government personnel to sit in on these meetings? Let's see the way forward before we just say we're cutting off supply, because this affects everybody. So now this is selfish, right, on one side. And then on the other side, you can see that the court, the judiciary has stepped in, you know, yes, to say you cannot do this. And the judiciary can only step in, or the courts can only step in, because they feel that you have overreached the power that you think you have.
Yeah,
so
you don't need to wrap up your thoughts. I'll come back to you when we take this commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still talking about Dangote, NUPENG, and PENGASSAN, and there's breaking news that the NNPC, NUPRC, NMDPRA shot as PENGASSAN begins strike. That means that they've actually started the strike that they threatened they were going to start today. But Amaka was wrapping up.
And you see, it's so sad, because the main essence of this refinery was to reduce the reliance on fuel imports, right? And then to help us as a nation, for things to be easier, because we use fuel for everything. We need petrol. We use for all businesses, you know, in agriculture. So this is going to affect the whole economy. Manufacturers. And then there'll be queue on the road. People can't even get to, well, for the benefit of who? For the benefit of who exactly? And you know, we need to see sometimes that the government needs to go hard on all these unions, because you see the mago that they do, and the selfish interests and the things that they do inside there, because you can see that for someone to wake up and decide to sack 800 people from his employee, he did not sack all the Nigerians. Yeah. He still has over 3,000.
The ones that joined.
He sacked, yes. There's a reason why, because he feels that no business owner wants people or
want to be sabotaged.
They're stressing these people, for crying out loud.
Honestly, I'm surprised that the federal government...
But we have a call on the line. I'll come to you, Mariam. Good morning. Are you there?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning, Yakub.
And good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
good morning. I'm good morning, and then Mariam. You see, busy. For me, I stand with Dangote. Even though before now I'm not his friend in the sense that you know what the price of cement is today. But coming to PMX, I think this is the time Dangote needs Nigerian government, especially Mr. President, to come in. Yeah. Because we cannot be able to sit down and allow Pengas or Penga or any Penga way they call themselves to sabotage Nigerian citizens. How many employment Pengas have? They were busy. It will be interesting to you that these people are fighting for their pocket. Tell the truth. I have some people working with them. I have a friend, a trailer driver. You get it? Because they were working for their leaders. Those leaders they are collecting money from all those trailer tanker drivers. Now you were claiming that Dangote sacked how many people in that company, but let's do plus and minus. How many Nigerian people Dangote give employment as of today? It is the highest employer of labor in this country today. But PENGASSAN are telling us that they want to stop, they want to do this. You cannot do anything. You know why? You can only fight somebody that does not have money. Dangote have liquidity. Look, trailer. If today for job. Dangote tax 3,000 today. I'm not 3,000. I'm looking for that job. And then Dangote will start giving it to them. I'm not telling us. See, they were just trying to fight for their survival, because those trailer owners, before now, they will say they want to transfer PMS from here to Ilaro, and then before you know, the PMS get to Benin, it get to Togo, it get to that. Yeah, so now Dangote is not coming to the system now. I can tell you for free. Before now, moving forward, this PMS will be coming down small, because look at those trailers. In fact, even as looking at that trailer, they were afraid that because they will not get the money they were getting before. That's what they should go on. And then they should get out of the system. These just people. I'm sorry for using that word.
Thank you, Yakub. Thank you so much, Yakub.
Yes, I was just saying, almost in line with what Yakub is saying, really, that I'm quite surprised that the federal government has even allowed it to get to this point. Is PENGASSAN that powerful that it can shut down everything, you know, especially because we're talking about this particular refinery and what it means for our economy. We have had refineries that haven't worked in forever. We have invested billions of our money into this refineries that haven't worked. We have advertised a refurbishment of a refinery, claimed it was working, and then silent, and money went into this. And then a man decided to put his own hard-earned personal resources into making sure that we have a refinery because of what it means for our country, our economy, because of all the resources and the interest and the profit we will earn also as a country. I'm shocked that the federal government does not see this as a direct sabotage on the federal government itself, you know. And if why hasn't the federal government immediately called for a sit down? I haven't seen it. Sorry, maybe the presidency. I would say I would like for the president to call for an immediate sit down, and then these shutting down of offices, please let them just, you know, let petrol flow, let work go on as normal, and then the leaders should sit down and discuss this. Now, you had mentioned one of the reasons that PENGASSAN is asking for this strike is that they said they have Nigerian workers who are paid differently from their Indian counterparts. Why do you need to shut down everything for that conversation? Why can't this be discussed? Why don't we know? We should be hearing that, oh, the Nigerian engineers, these are their roles at the refinery, and this is what the Indians do. And so because of that, you know, there's a disparity. We don't know what the Nigerian engineers are doing. We don't know if the Indian workers are specialized workers doing something that is quite technical. And if the Nigerian engineers are so great, what happened to them when all our refineries were sitting moribund? That a man who does business decided to look around the world and see who can work in his refinery to make it work. I don't get it, you know. So what are the conversations we're having to the point that you think you can shut down the whole economy because workers are not being paid the same as their Indian counterparts? I'm not saying that you should not stand up for the rights of workers. We have always advocated that. But to the point where we are seeing this now as if you're using this really as a means to just shut this business down because it's no more business as usual in that sector. And we know how that sector has just been played by different cabals and whatever. And we know a lot of people have been making money from this sector. Money that is supposed to go into the Nigerian coffers is going to groups. You know, taking another story where Otedola was saying that there was an investigation into those, do you want to take the call instead?
Yeah, let me take the call. I'll come back to you so that I can wrap up your thoughts. We have a caller on the line, but please refrain from using insulting words on live television. Yakub, I know he had already apologized for calling them names, but we don't want to have that on live television. Are you there, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning.
All right. So, first of all, let me thank you, the ladies, for the good job that you are doing there.
Thank you.
The issues about this Dangote versus PENGASSAN, the issues must be set out straight.
Okay.
Dangote is a private businessman.
Okay.
He is saying that the people that he sent out are sabotaging his business. He has the right to do that.
Yeah.
PENGASSAN, on the other hand, is fighting on behalf of the oil cartel. We are not children. We all know this.
Exactly.
Who are not happy with Dangote coming to help to ensure that there is free flow of fuel to Nigerians. We have seen the trend that you have been analyzing there. If the agreement the government, Dangote has, is not with PENGASSAN, it's with the federal government. So if PENGASSAN has issues with employment problems, it is the person they are working for, the institution they are working for, is who they should discuss with. But they are going now to down the national assets of the country for their own selfish gain. Don't forget, this is the same PENGASSAN. For decades, the crude oil in our high seas, half of it is stolen and under the watch of PENGASSAN. We have not had PENGASSAN say a word about that. Why are they not allowing Dangote to help this country? I think this is going to be a battle between the people of Nigeria and PENGASSAN.
Yes.
We are tired of this kind of thing they are doing to us to make sure Nigeria does not work. This country does not belong to a few people who want to wreck us dry. We will resist them to the letter.
Yeah. Thank you so much, George. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I also read out the story. Remember, Otedola actually responding, and he had mentioned that you remember the petroleum subsidy and a group of people that were making money off of
it,
that.
yeah.
You know, there's a lot that has gone down in this sector. You know, a lot of corruption, and we know that having this refinery and the way that Dangote has decided to run his business, which is he will make sure that he takes out the middlemen, send this
Delivers
product directly to consumers. We know that this is going to affect a lot of businesses that have a lot of illegal business that have benefited
Profiteering.
illegally from the process, and that is what they're doing. They are fighting back, and that's why I'm saying I wonder why the presidency has not shut this thing down. They should not have the power to pull
Let
the
me
stuff
ask
that they have
Tope
done
a
so
question.
far.
So Dangote is a private businessman, right, who is running his business, and fortunately the business has a lot of Nigerians connected because it's something that we all need, and we find a way. We've struggled for many years to get it, and it's trying to make it easy for us. But do you think that he owes us an explanation for sacking about 800 people as a private person? That's one. Two, do you think that PENGASSAN and NUPENG are trying to fight Dangote from being monopoly in this industry? Do you think that's what's trying to play out?
Okay, so Dangote Refineries is a privately owned business. It's a public limited company, but it is still a for-profit organization, which means that every decision being made subject to the board is reviewed to ensure that it profits the company. Now, while they might have a lot of altruistic reasons, and they might promote their altruistic reasons to the benefit of Nigerians, more petrol will flow.
Cheaper petrol.
Yes, we'll not need to be spending a lot of petrol dollar, because actually one of the real costs of why Naira was pressured is because Nigeria was using dollar to buy petrol daily, and now we didn't need to buy. That was the reason they did the Naira exchange.
Naira for
So
crude.
it's a business. If a business makes a business decision, it is, and you want to question it, you have a right to question it. The government has a right to question it. Trade unions have a right to question the impact, because there's a ripple effect. When you lay off 800 people, let's just say 800 people, the families, the children, school fees, house rent, Christmas is coming, there's a whole lot that would happen through 800 people. It will have its own ripple effect. So I'm not saying that the laying off should be wiped away. And there are companies that are so big that anything they do would affect the economy. And Dangote is one of those companies. So what they have done would affect the economy. It's a conversation to be had. PENGASSAN and NUPENG is one of the that is strongest for me. NLC, TUC, once they say they want to call for strike, if PENGASSAN and NUPENG don't join, the strike is weak. When PENGASSAN and NUPENG join
hands,
everything shuts down, and they know they are very powerful, and they use it. How I wish they use it for our good. Like how I wish they use it for the entire people of Nigeria. That the next time ASU comes up and says that we don't have equipment as lecturers to work, we don't have lights, our students are suffering, PENGASSAN will stand up and say, because we know that if we step in, it will shut down. The president cannot, his negotiation, they will negotiate. When PENGASSAN shuts down, even president said, they will call Osifo. Osifo is their, he will call Osifo, say, come meeting.
Who is PENGASSAN?
So PENGASSAN
what comprises PENGASSAN?
Are the oil and gas. Are they
not individuals that came together to be PENGASSAN?
To protect the abuse of Nigerian workers. And because when Nigerian workers were working under many international companies, the IOCs, they suffered.
Okay,
so they were needed, and they are still needed. It's just that we want the fight to be fair, and we should listen. So don't just exert your authority and shut down the entire country. It would affect students, it would affect hospitals, it would affect everybody. So you are fighting Dangote, but you're not fighting Dangote. So you are fighting Nigeria because you want to deal with Dangote. That is my problem.
You know why I'm asking the question? Because I'll direct it to Amaka now. They were set up to fight for Nigerian workers, right? But we've had multinationals till today, because I don't know the fights they have fought, till today, that are still under very harsh conditions in those countries. If you open your mouth, you are sacked. Till today, I have a couple of people who are working in different factories. Go to Ilupeju. What they see there.
That's why the 800 people joined.
Now, till today, we have not seen, aside from oil and gas now, these fights now that they are doing, I've not seen That's NLC too. I've not seen the way they carry the fight to the multinationals. But I'm seeing how NUPENG now and PENGASSAN carrying this fight to Nigeria. As far as I'm concerned, Nigerians.
No, Nigerians.
Because we're the ones that will suffer it. But let me come to Amaka with my question. You are not happy with the fact that 800 people were sacked in an organization. And you feel you're supposed to fight for these people so that at least the 800 people would have their jobs back or whatever it is you're going to do. But do you think they checked the implications to millions of Nigerians? So you want to save 800 people at what cost to the millions of Nigerians that are left behind? Do you think they checked the implications? Because now one of the implications is the fact that if they stop selling crude in the first place to Dangote, and he has the capacity to import crude with USD. Our Naira has been gaining strength regular. Now I hear Naira is like a 1,400 and something. Gaining strength now. And we go back to paying close to 2,000 Naira. Did you think they checked the cost implication on how it's going to affect every other Nigerian aside those 800 people that were sacked?
Okay, so let me answer your question coming from a legal perspective, in the sense that...
Sweetheart, let me take the call, then I'll come to you so you can respond. Good morning, we have a call on the line.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Chiloyomi. Thank you and well done.
Thank you, sir.
My own opinion is PENGASSAN and NUPENG, they still think the old strategy that they were using is still applicable. Okay. They've forgotten that once the music changes, dancing steps also must change. In the past, they were using this strategy of going on strike and it was working. Now they cannot send us back to that old age. Let me point out here, we have NURTW. Yeah. They have the association. We have other private transport companies. Okay. When NUTW go on strike or anything, does it affect all other private companies that run transport?
No.
Again, we have private universities. ASU is there, causing their trouble when they want to cut it. Does it affect private institutions? No. Never. Why does OSIFO and their group still think that they must continue to hold Nigeria into ransom? Somebody has used his money to infect. You said you want the person to continue to be dancing to your music. It's not done. What were they doing since all these days that things were not working well in this country? We have many other. You cannot determine how a company will run its own company, whether they have interior motive or not. They were not begging anybody to apply for jobs. Those who applied the job, they applied and they were taken on condition. If you're no longer good with that condition, resign. Yeah. You can't tell them that who paid the piper dictate the tune. They can't dictate what Dangote should do. We Nigerians should write off, government should write off, and receive them. If their tactic does not get through, next time they will think otherwise before they come out and be fighting for 800 at the detriment of 220 million. Yeah. And I also want to say, quote and unquote, I guess some people are using them against this government. That is my point. Thank you and well done. Lady.
Thank you so much. On that note, we'll take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.